I married a man that murdered his first wife. So before I ever said I do, I knew that he had taken the life of his first wife. So he spent 19 years in prison, in a Texas prison. And 1 month out of prison, I met him. And within 7 months, we were married and we stayed married for 2 years. And I share this because my mindset was really messed up when I was partying a lot, right? And, like some of the guys that I have gone out with, oh Lord, like the last dude I went out with, he had tattoos all over his face and he had a fake tattoo beard. Oh my God. Like, not that I'm like a prize or anything, but that was my mindset when I was in active addiction. Like, that was what I was attracted to. So, I recently made a video about how I married a man that murdered his first wife. So, when I said I do, I knew that this man had killed his first wife, right? And I knew that those same hands that committed that ugly, violent crime against that woman, the innocent woman, that those same hands were going to be on my body, right? And a lot of people are like, how could you do that? You guys, my judgment was impaired. First of all, I had been using drugs heavily, alcohol. I was an alcoholic, and I was intrigued by this man, like a man that had been locked up for like 19 years. I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to ask him questions. Oh my God. So we went out on a date, and you will not believe where we went out on a date to. It is crazy. I'm going to do a part 2. So, story time on how I married a man that murdered his first wife. So you guys have so many questions. I don't even know where to start. But a lot of you guys are asking if it was an accident. It was not an accident, you guys. He did not accidentally take his wife's life. So, but I can say that it was a crime of passion in the state of Texas. And he served 19 out of a 20-year sentence. He was on parole for a year, and I met him fresh out of the penitentiary. So he had been serving those, almost 20 years, and I met him right when he got out. And man, I guess you really have to understand the kind of person that I am. I did drugs for like 30 years. Maybe that might explain why I married him. I worked with convicted felons for a living, and I was very comfortable being around felons. Part 2 of why I married a man that murdered his wife. Honestly, you guys, I don't know what I was thinking, right? I can tell you this, that I am the type of person that likes to help people. You know how there's dog lovers and they see a mangy dog on the side of the road, and they just stop and pick it up and they nurse the dog back to health and they get it ready for their forever home, right? Well, I do that with men, right? So that's kind of what I did with him. Like, I didn't think it at the time that our marriage was going to end, but I was able to get him a good job. He was working at the Dollar Tree. I was able to get him a good job. So he works as a plumber. So he goes into women's homes while the husband's away at, work, and he fixes the plumbing in there. A lot of you guys are saying like, oh, it's not a flex, and you shouldn't be proud of the fact that you married a man that murdered his wife. You guys, this is my story. It's my story on how I married a man that murdered his wife. Now, there's nothing to be proud of. There's nothing to flex. Like, I was an idiot that married a man that murdered his wife, thinking that I had met the man of my dreams, you guys. So, was I lonely and was I desperate when I married the man that murdered his wife? It's the only thing that makes sense to people is that she must have been lonely and desperate. But the reality is, you guys, I was seeing two other guys when I was dating him. One of them actually asked me to get married. And so I was not lonely. I was not desperate, you guys. There was just something that was mysterious about him, something that was intriguing about him, and the way that he like carried himself. He was very quiet, very kind, and very gentle. And
it didn't even seem like he
yeah, like by looking at him you would never know that he did that. And now that I think about the way that he carried himself, it kind of creeps me out, honestly. Like, dude, that was so creepy because he was just so quiet and to himself all the time, just like real creepy.